I'm here with a band who need no introduction to many of you. They've been making music together for years. They've been shouted out on this podcast by basically everyone I've talked to. This band is Asterhouse, and since we have multiple members, let's introduce everyone.
Well, I am John, and I sing and play drums and sometimes guitar for the band.
I'm Russ. I'm the lead tap dancer, and occasionally I'll play the guitar and piano.
Julio is out, but Julio plays the bass.
Well, not out. Out. He's just not here
Actually,
right now.
this would be the best
he's
medium to fire somebody over, right? Julio, if you're listening, you are so done.
Yeah, and here's our new bass player.
That's actually our manager. Fear's a powerful thing. I think that's why people are talking about us on your podcast.
So it sounds like y'all have been surviving the last 9 months. Okay. What do you think?
I mean, we're in clothes right now. That's probably the best we've done in a while, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think we're surviving. I'm no worse than I was, 10 months ago, but just 10 months ago I wasn't that great either. So
yeah, I mean, we're getting by. We're smiling a lot, but underneath the smile is a dark cloud of fear and no. I mean, we're lucky. We live together, so we can share income, which is awesome. But yeah, luckily we're still both working, which is fantastic. So we're counting our lucky stars in that regard.
I mean, not for nothing, but it's like with musicians and this stuff. Yeah, it's like not knowing the future, having everything you do up in the air. It's like, welcome to day-to-day life for band members.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally the first thought I have when I open my eyes in the morning is no way. I'm still here. Or you know what? Yeah, we certainly miss playing shows. I mean, it's been a big adjustment, because it was something that we did so often, and we not that we took it for granted, but I mean, I guess kind of in a way we started to, because our shows were becoming more and more consistent, and when that big part of your life is taken away, you're kind of, you're left to kind of reassess your weekend plans.
Well, even, I mean, when you think about like a year ago, who really thought that what's going on right now was even a slight possibility,
right?
I mean, for even this long,
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing about the virus just briefly a little bit. I mean, probably not even a year ago. And I'm just going, oh, that's interesting. And now it's
right.
Now it's just the thing that's life now.
Right.
It's very weird, to say the least.
Yeah, that went from 0 to 60 over like February and March pretty quick for everybody in the music scene, I think,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I remember one of the last shows we did was like right before everything closed down. It was like either a week before or 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I think we were lucky to be able to play, you know.
It was an interesting show because everybody was kind of speaking about it. There was, murmurs about the virus throughout the club, and it did kind of have this weird kind of pre-apocalyptic vibe where everyone was leaving and we kind of all said, "See you later?" ? So it was a very odd evening,
Fun,
but odd. Which goes hand in hand with the two of us. So. Where's our manager?
Oh, hold on. Wait, do you want our manager or our tour manager?
Get our tour manager.
Here's the tour manager. But no, let me get the manager. Hold on.
Yeah, get the manager. You put him face down. That's rude.
I'm sorry. Here we go. Here's the manager. But I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Should I just do this? I'll just have him sitting here the rest of the thing.
Well, it's like Julio's here.
Oh man, for those of you just joining us, we got through the mother of all technical fucks just now. Like I'll just say like Riverside.fm, get your shit together, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'm going to Karen out on him so hard tomorrow morning, man. Like, oh, God. Just straight Karen.
Oh, my God. Yeah, there was some like paranormal technological shit going on.
This is the beauty of being a musician. You just have to learn how to roll with that stuff, man. Because it's like the guitar amp never breaks when you're practicing, only when you're like right on stage.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
There was about a year of that happening for me. A full year, like 2019, it was probably my amp saying, you don't know what's coming. 2020, you won't even need an amp anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you know, that feeling before you have like a panic attack and you're like, you're like, you feel like you're saving it all for the moment right before you go on stage. Like, I could have had this, you know, when I was driving to work, I could have had this, but no, it's right before I'm supposed to face a bunch of people. I wish I could choose, like, you know, the time to have a breakdown, but you can't. No. That's the thing about breakdowns. You have to just roll with the breakdown.
And it's so beautiful because it's like I start this whole thing with my usual intro, and all of a sudden after the technical shit, the conversation just got a hell of a lot more fucking real right now. It's like, fuck it. We've just been through hell. So
I wish that you had like a colostomy bag for your tears that you could just like, and then you just let them drain. But no, you can't control that either. Am I crying? Shit, I'm crying hard right now, apparently.
Man, it's like if you don't laugh, you just cry with this stuff sometimes, man. It's like as musicians, it's like that's all we can do sometimes, man. It's like one thing, even pre-pandemic and pre all this stuff, it's just like that's what you learn playing in bands and doing shows and all this shit. It's just like you just gotta roll with it, man.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, like there are some shows when it feels like all is well. Then there's like some shows where you feel like you're riding a unicycle juggling knives. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know what causes that, but it just that's the way it goes sometimes. You know?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's like if you come into this stuff with like a big plan or something like that, it's like, I hope you've either rehearsed like 1,000 times or you're just ready for everything to go wrong in that plan.
Oh, totally. Yeah. We used to get so into rehearsing and try to get everything perfect, but it's almost like that kind of builds a case of it all going wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even after a while, we invented these things, we'd call them hell jams, where we would create the worst possible situation where we'd shut off the lights. Yep. We would blindfold ourselves, and John would put on like 3 jackets while he's playing.
A bunch of jackets.
Yeah, and it was horrifying, but it was fun, and I think it's actually really prepared us for the worst, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
We like detuned all the guitars like before we go in, like, because literally like for a couple years when we were just starting out, it was like every show was the worst show in the history of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so we're like,
fast forward 5 years later and nothing's changed.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so it was like, well, we might as well practice, having everything go completely ass backwards. And then all of a sudden when a show was just going semi wrong, we were like, this is great.
Yeah.
So everything we've ever done has gone terribly wrong, but we just don't know. We don't get it.
And now it's 2020. We're just like, hey, party time, man.
We're so ready for this shit.
Yeah, this is just a life hell jam, really.
This is nothing.
Oh, man.
This 2020 is a hell jam.
Oh, man. But, I got to say, like, when I saw, like, you all in live streams too, and that's one thing I loved. Like when I saw you guys do like the Black Lab gallery stream like the other week, and it just felt like so many bands I've seen kind of struggle with the live stream format for that reason, because it's just there's nothing you can fall back on, no crowd energy, nothing like that, and almost assuredly there's going to be some kind of technical problem that happens during the show. But when I saw you at Black Lab, it's like y'all were just rocking the fuck out, and it's like it didn't. None of that had any bearing, but I think that's kind of a testament to how you as a band just sort of like pour all your emotion out on stage. Like it feels like it comes from a very real place when I watch Asterhouse in that way.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, Actually, I've got nothing to add to that, but thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I mean, thank you. It's I mean, this sounds really stupid, but it's just so much fun. And, you know, every time we go on stage, I mean, it really is, it's a blessing, you know, to be able to be allowed to actually play really loud noise in a quiet room, you know, and the fact that somebody is allowing that to happen is just amazing. So every opportunity we get to play anywhere, we're extremely grateful. And, you know, it kind of all goes back to, you know, us being really young and me and him, you know, playing for our parents, and we would, you know, fill the room with smoke and have my dad hold a flashlight, and, you know, he was 3 sheets to the wind, so he didn't really get the spotlight right. So, but, no, so I mean, it's been a blessing that we've been asked to play some of these live streams.
Yeah,
so.
and I also think too, one of the fun things about the live streams is, you know, we love playing to an audience, but with a lack of an audience, it actually kind of gives us more of a chance to kind of explore and do things that, man, when you had that drink of water right in the mic, that was just, can you do it again? Oh, yuck, Jesus. Oh my God.
You want to hear it again?
Yes, I do. Do it louder. Oh, man. Ew. I'm going to have nightmares about that.
Oh, I was just bummed out because now it's on film.
Yeah, now it's on film.
I was like, hey, if there's no context, it's just going to sound like mid-interview. I was like, you know what? I really have had to pee for 5 minutes. I'm taking care of it.
We're going to have to change John's diaper and his... what's the equivalent of the colostomy bag, but for pee?
Catheter?
Catheter.
Yeah. We got to change that too.
That was my tear catheter going off.
Man, what phase of 2020 are you in right now?
We're in 2022, and it's going to get weirder.
Oh, man.
God.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you could be in like a coffee commercial, really.
You're trying not to make a sound when you put the mug down.
Yeah, I don't know what the feng shui of the mug should be. You could put it next to the manager or by the dead rat over there. I don't know.
Yeah, man. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was it? I felt like I was saying something.
Oh,
I don't know. Probably something stupid.
I did want to ask you guys, because at a point it was like, I remember reading something about you all were even trying to put together your own live stream.
Trying to think.
Oh, Christ.
Were we doing that?
This
could be anything.
I'm sure we did.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Would that have been years ago with the
No, this was like maybe like 6 months ago when I saw it. It was like on Facebook. I think you posted it, but I'm not sure what happened with it.
Yeah, you know, Julio, who's not here, unfortunately, but he is kind of involved in a lot of like the Discord side of things. And I don't know a thing about Discord, but he kind of has apparently he has one of our channels set up, and maybe he's been on it. I don't know what he's been doing, but you know, maybe if you log in, you might get lucky enough to see Julio, like, you know, doing yoga or knitting a sweatshirt. I mean, so call to action. Right? Why don't you go check out our Discord? See what fun awaits you.
That reminds me of like when I was talking with Action S about their Slack channel, and they have like 30 different memes at their meme channels at this point. Man, it's like, I don't know, the ways that we try to stay organized as bands now. It's yeah.
Christ. Yeah.
Like, Slack, Zoom, all this weird stuff.
Oh yeah. No, totally. I have, you know, it's just even trying to keep passwords straight, you know, and I'm not a Satanist, but all of my passwords have 666 in them.
It's just the easiest one to remember, really.
And I feel really bad because I'll like be typing in passwords, and it's obvious, like, you know, when you're typing in keys and then all of a sudden you go to the numbers zone and you go and it's over the 6. It's very easy to see. And I've gotten some strange looks from, you know, just passersby looking down at my typing. And you know, bosses, it's been interesting, but it is really useful to have 666 in your passwords.
I do want to ask you, I mean, I want to pick your brain on this. Like, what are the bands that you've seen in Seattle that are just killing it on the live stream front right now? Is there any standouts that you've seen?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's it's crazy because there are so many Seattle bands that I love. You know, I mean, one that comes to mind first is King Youngblood, and that's not because they shouted us out. I love them from the second. Yeah,
well, we'll shout out Cameron. Yeah, well, while we're on the topic,
totally. That's a plug.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I remember the first time I saw them, I was just absolutely blown away by their songwriting, because they play such loud, aggressive music, but sitting on top of all of that noise is such beautiful melodies and such amazing lyrics.
Yeah.
And that like just blew me away the second I experienced that. So they're definitely one of them. Another band, they used to be in Seattle, but they moved down to California, is a band called Shoddy.
Yeah.
Okay. They're kind of the same way where
how do you spell that, by the way, real quick?
It's like SHOTTY.
I didn't know there was going to be a spelling test.
I know, my anxiety went up.
Well, if anybody listening wants to actually look them up, I'm just saying, like,
they're absolutely fantastic. Their music is very, very aggressive, but on top, it's just the most beautiful melodies, which is my favorite.
And they have awesome music videos too.
Okay.
Really. It's really just a pleasure to watch. But yeah, I think just any band that's, able to do a live stream right now. I mean, it's such a weird, tricky thing to kind of take something that you love, but just come at it from such a different angle. So I think anybody who's able to do that, just right on.
Good on them.
Yeah. And it takes time too. I mean, you do your first, it's like shows, you probably do your first 5 or 10 or 20 shows. And it's like, even if you've been doing it for a while, you still got to find your groove with it, Like,
it's definitely different. What has been interesting is when we finish with a song, I mean, we're used to mostly booze and like a clap from our parents maybe in the back, but it's so weird. Like we're done with something really loud and then we're kind of looking over at each other and we'll just start clapping at each other. Like, good job, Julio.
Yeah. I always start booing at them though, because, I just like to, it's the only natural thing that comes.
I have to give props to a band called Fruit Juice on this front because they did a live stream at the High Dive. And I want to say it was their drummer that had programmed samples into his SPDS, like the electronic pad, so he could trigger like an applause, a crowd finale, crowd reaction. And then they had a bunch of big like cardboard cutouts, like just black cardboard cutouts of like audience members. So when you saw it from the camera in the back, it looked like, you remember the scene from like the first Home Alone movie where he like gets all the cutouts and he makes them look like there's like people at the house or something like that. That's what they did. So yeah.
And does Joe Pesci come running in there and trying to steal everything too?
No, but that would have been incredible. Like,
I know they need to do that. That's just a staple of the live streams now.
Yeah.
Well, Fruit Juice, if you're listening, this, there's your next idea right there.
They'll put it in the show contracts now. Cannot bring Joe Pesci. But I love Fruit Juice. They're fantastic.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah. They just they have such a unique sound to them as a band.
Yeah.
Like we played with them at Psych Fest. And I wasn't aware of them before that, but watching their set there and a few others, I mean, it's hard for me to even describe it, but yeah, it's
very different. Yeah. I mean, they're another one where the first time I saw them, they really, really stood out.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Yeah, there was something about them. I mean, some bands I'll see have like, individual members or, something that sticks in my head, but Fruit Juice is one of those ones where it's like as a unit, it's like, this is a statement to me anyway.
Yeah.
But,
and it's a very family vibe. I mean, you can tell all those people are just very close to each other,
And I think bands, if you can find a way to create music that, you can't really put much of a label to, I think that's great. That's why I love like Beck so much, because he, you listen to him, someone will tell me, well, what kind of music does he do? And I'll say, I have no idea. One album will be like grunge and the next one's like acoustic and then the next one's like pop or whatever, so I mean that's why I love Beck so much. It's just like you never know what you're gonna get.
Was that one of your influences growing up? I mean, where does the story of Asterhouse or should I say Jar where does that start?
Well,
maybe we shouldn't even explain Jar. We could just say,
"Oh, Jesus Christ!" Oh, Jesus!
I'm sorry,
Christ.
dude.
Just let that one just flop out there.
Wow, you dove. You fucking dove.
Yeah, you've dove into places that I've totally repressed.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm still in like this mode in my head of like, what other things from the past can I still get rid of? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything, like, is there a sticker at a venue that's under like a toilet that I missed that I can just rip off? I'm still actively trying to get rid of the past, like burn like family VHS tapes. Just, I want it gone.
Does it spark joy?
Destroying the past? Yes. But yeah, I mean, I guess the inception of everything was, Russ and I as children,
If we want to really go back, it started with our parents in Bellingham and probably a rickety bed in Bellingham.
Jesus Christ. Make a note not to cut that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, me and Russ would just write all these songs. When we were really, really young. And I think it's just literally as simple as we just kept going.
Yeah. And we were lucky enough to have parents that really loved music, and we all kind of shared similar music tastes. So it was kind of, we have really supportive parents. So it was never really much of a burden to them. So we just kind of were able to explore kind of what we wanted to do, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who were... I'm curious, just because y'all have been playing music in Seattle for a good minute now. I mean, how in the last 10 years have you seen this city and the music scene evolve, for better or worse?
Literally, the only things that I do is I go out to a lot of shows. Well, I did go out to a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And there were, the thing that is so special is the community has remained the same.
Yeah.
I don't know about social media and stuff. I mean, sure. I literally, when I'm logging on, I'm like, inbox. I go right to the inbox. I look at nothing else,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the thing that has remained the same in my eyes is just everybody continues to love each other, which is fantastic. People that I've met are extremely kind, and that hasn't changed a bit. Thank God.
Yeah. And I think, even speaking, from my own experiences, I spent as little amount of time on social media as I can, because it's, it's not really something I wanted to do. And, it's a similar thing. I could see how it could have really negative impacts. You have the sort of mindset for it. So I don't have an Instagram. If I have a Facebook, I haven't been on there in years. I don't know, but it's just been nice. I think it's, because I've seen it where it can be so tricky, and you can just, what is it the saying? Comparison is the
depletion of joy.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And so it's just, and I think it's just, I'm a bit more of an introvert with this sort of stuff. So it's just, it's nice to just kind of play music just for the sake of playing music.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was kind of this element creeping in of affecting songwriting decisions. Like, if we cut this out, that means it would be played A, B, or C, right? On this,
Yeah.
And then so we just, I think, made a conscious effort to shut the noise out, at least the negative noise, but of course we stay in contact with all of our friends and people in bands. And by the way, we miss them so much. We miss going to shows. Yeah. And if anybody is listening, who we know, we miss the fuck out of you, and we hope you're doing well. But no, I mean, I think it felt kind of good to just turn away from that just a little bit to find a more natural space of our heart and mind, I guess.
Yeah.
To some degree, I think when you're playing music, in a band or anything, I mean, you only have so much time to follow what other people are doing too. I mean, you're kind of off in your own world, focused on what you're doing. And it's like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, we all got busy schedules and a life to live. So
sometimes I almost feel like there's this expectation on local musicians that it's like you should be like the most plugged into the scene or something like that too. And I'm like, I'm off playing drums all day, man. It's like I don't.
I'm not a manager or a businessman.
Yeah,
I never will be.
Yeah, getting plugged in. All I have is one of those rotary phones where you're just going. I'll get on Instagram soon.
and what do they call it? Like doom scrolling? Like even
God.
taken out of the context of the music scene, you know, every time I've ever scrolled, I never feel better.
Yeah.
I always feel like a piece of shit when I'm done. So,
but just think about how strong your finger would be. Just you have a really strong pointer finger.
And you know, the technology is designed like that too, specifically with the algorithms to just like hook you and, you know, keep you like hooked, you know, raked in like that. That's why it kind of drives me nuts when everybody's just like, oh, like you see, like, you know, you have to follow this person on Facebook or social media, that. And I'm like, I'll see him when I play a show.
Yep. Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. You and know. It's just, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But it's nothing disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's just like a choice for my own peace of mind, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've even like, you know, I watched this television show called Alone, where it's that thing where they put everybody into like a remote area of like, you know, usually Canada or somewhere really cold. And I'll watch that show while people are, you know, fighting to stay alive and starving. And I'll just go, this is relaxing. No phones. Wow. But it's really, I mean, I don't know, even just seeing people with the phones out, you know, it makes me tense a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just high maintenance. I don't know. But
no, sometimes you just have to like unplug, you know, and get away from it all. Because you've talked about that to some extent. I mean, I know you've done some work with Hold Your Crown, you know, Cameron's nonprofit, you know, which is, I mean, it's dedicated to that with addressing mental health issues, you know, for young people especially, you know. And I asked him about that a little bit. I remember like how much, you know, he felt like of that was tied to technology and, you know, that constant pressure to be like connected in such a way versus where I feel like, you know, you're coming, like we come from playing in bands. It's almost like, again, like a kind of a built-in community, and, you know, you're seeing like your peers and you're doing things together every day. It's like, I don't need social media. Like I don't, you know, this
totally.
I have like a social life, like a real social life. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. I went to a bar last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. I could go on about how much I despise social media, but you know, unfortunately, it goes hand in hand. Though I mean, in other ways, it's great to be able to, you know, post your own music up and, you know, just kind of share it.
Yeah.
But that's about as far as I go is checking in on my friends and then putting out some of our stuff.
You know, I mean, I find it interesting that people are able to make careers out of, you know, doing the social media stuff. I mean, more power to them if it works and they're happy about it. That's great.
We sound old as fuck.
God, I know.
Turn that shit off.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
go milk a cow.
Literally, people at work, you know. So they're always, you know, I'll get these texts and stuff, and then we'll come in so quick, and I'm like, I can't keep up here. I miss my flip phone. I had a flip phone until like 2018, and literally getting used to the no button stuff, I was like, I just can't do it. This thing, go to hell.
It went to hell. I saw it. It went to hell.
If people are just listening to the audio, all they're going to hear is "go to hell" without any context.
Yeah, that's our landlord.
Oh man, well this is one thing that I appreciate about y'all, because, you know, I tell people it's just like, if it's urgent or something, just call me like on the phone. Don't text me. I don't want to have to pause. Just give me a phone call. No, right? I'm old school. And then the first time I reached out to John about doing this whole thing, you know, it's like I reached out, you know, I gave you my contact info, and I get a call on like a Thursday, and it's like a 206, like an unknown number, which not, you know, abnormal for me. I actually get like a lot of junk calls and spam calls all the time, and it'll always be like a 206 to try and disguise it. I'm not even mad. Like I like to just fuck with them sometimes, you know, so I'll pick up the phone, and I did it to John. Anyway, I was like, hello, you know, and he's like, I'm calling for Nate. I'm like, who's calling, please? You know, he's like, yeah, this is John from Asterhouse. I'm like, oh, hey, what's happening, man?
That is genius, man.
I know. I was like, holy hell. It's cool when you get those spam calls. You start trying to sell to them first.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's great. The best way to do it is like if you get the one with like the live person or something like that, be like, oh, hang on just a sec. Like I have to go, get my card or something. You just put it down. Just keep doing what you need.
Yeah.
Leave them there forever.
Absolutely. Oh my God. We'll get the last laugh.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. I do want to ask you, I mean, we talked about some of the other bands. I mean, what are speaking of real life spots, what are the venues that you all miss in Seattle right now?
Oh, I mean,
all of them, really.
Yeah. I mean, one that has been really amazing to us is the High Dive.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We missed that place. The Black Lab, which is where we just did that live stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many to mention.
I know. Yeah. And even just going to see just like, a big show at like the Paramount or something like that. Cause I remember, this last year, I remember hearing bands like Wilco and Incubus were coming into town. And I remember hearing that and just going, man, what's going to happen here? And, of course, all their dates are canceled. And I'm just like, man, think about that. You're getting ready to go on this big, tour and just done. I mean, for us, it's like, okay, yeah, I might have like a month of weekend shows. For these guys, it's like, okay, we had like 3 months or a summer tour.
Our extra $10 income this month from all the shows we've played.
I think for Wilco to be a little more than $10, but
that's more us.
Asterhouse, our extra $10 fucking dollars.
Yeah, split 3 ways, of course.
Yeah,
shout out to Tim's Tavern. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, too. Hey, we've all been there. Wow. No disrespect, and it's all love, man. It's like, hey, at least you gave us a place to play, dude. Like, props to you.
Wow, that was loud. Yeah. Man, these are good headphones, dude. Wow.
When was your last show?
I want to say the last show that I played with Blade Palace, we play. I should say we play together. I'm still, we're together as a band.
Right.
It was February 22nd at Tim's Tavern. We were actually, that was the one that we actually played. We were supposed to play one at the Substation on March 12th. And it was so funny because it got, looking back, I was really annoyed at the time, but it's like now, it's like I laugh about it. But it's like I literally got the call as I was loading my gear, like my drum gear, to go load up. It was like loading. It's at like 6 o'clock, so it's like I'd stopped working like 3 p.m. I come back, pack up all my stuff, and literally as I'm loading out, I like Elliot texts me. It's just like, hey, like the other bands, whatever, they're pulling out. Like they don't know if they want to do it. I'm like,
right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little butthurt at the time, but it's like, hindsight, it's whatever. I mean,
right? Happens, just a pandemic.
It was gonna be our first show with our bassist Chris Wilkie, because he had just moved up here to join us. He had just moved to town about 3 weeks prior, and he had kidding. 2 good weekends at Adaball. It's like, that's it,
man.
Oh my God, that I know that the timing for so many things for a lot of our friends was just, I mean, when is a good time for this? But everybody had big plans, it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, even like, I mean, this is a much smaller thing, but I remember I just bought a guitar that like I got to use our last show at, and I was remembering, it felt great. I was going, okay, this will be good. It feels better on my wrist. And then, I was going, okay, well, one show I get to use it with, but of course with the live streams, it's great, but oh well, what can you do?
Cry.
Right now?
Always cry.
Okay. Let me get in the shower and I'll start crying.
Should I draw you a bath?
I haven't cried in a bath before. Shower, yes, but
you should try it.
Do you use bath salts if you cry in the shower?
No, it hurts.
Oh, okay. Well, I've cried on the toilet, but not, in a bath.
Wow.
Is this going too
Well,
far?
see you later.
No, it's not. I'm letting you riff right now. This is a jam session right now. I'm letting y'all riff on this, and I just want to see. I'm just holding. I'm laying down the foundation right now, and I'm just seeing where this goes, man.
I do have a crying question for the both of you.
Yeah.
So everybody has a very distinctive cry sound.
Yeah.
What is yours? Because I have this like kind of, annoying kind of sputtering where I'm like, okay. Like I kind of do the inward cry.
Yeah.
What about you?
That would be the sound, because there's a couple different cries. Right? There's like laughing cry too. You know what I mean? There's
right.
There's like laughing cry. There's like I'm getting my acting on right now cry. That's sort of like which and then there's like for real, like I'm fucking inconsolable, uncontrollable right now, like, which is I'm fortunate to say is not too many times these days, but like it happens, man.
If you were to act it out right now, what would that sound like?
Dude, you're asking me to switch a mental gear right now. That's just like I can, if I could switch gears like that, I would commit myself at that point. I'm just saying, man.
What about yours, man?
See, I'm more of the stoic silent crier.
One tier.
I'm the one tier where it's like I'm staring off into like a meadow somewhere, and then it's so beautiful, and then I cry. But usually it's like, I don't know, I'm looking at the empty fridge and I start crying, or I don't have enough money for a double cheeseburger. There's too many vegetables in here. I have to eat all these carrots myself.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's the silent one.
Back to tears. Wow, we totally
Did we start
back.
with tears?
We did.
We did?
We did. The colostomy bag. The tear colostomy bag.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, dude. You took it all the way back, man. Got a talent for it.
Well, he does write the lyrics, so I guess he's a bit of a storyteller. Oh,
I do want to ask you guys about one thing, because one thing Asterhouse gets right to me as a band, it like y'all do a lot when it comes to recordings, videos, and like everything I've seen from y'all is like it's solid. Like I could present that to anybody, and if you didn't like it, it wouldn't be an issue of the media. It would just be like, oh, like, the music just isn't my thing or something like that.
Right.
Although the music is very good, I think. But
thank you. Thank you.
But I do wonder, because it feels like there's like a deliberate hesitation, to try and take things like too big, too fast. And I'm kind of wondering how you walk that line between giving your music and your art a chance to be like embraced by people other than your immediate friend circle or something, versus kind of forcing yourself to do things that you're either just not interested in or that just don't feel like true to you and what you represent. How do you walk that line?
It's interesting, because this is going back several years, but we had a couple situations, without going into full detail, of being handled by not the most hold on. I don't want to, because this can be cut, can it? Okay, thank God.
Could be cut, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good, because there's a lot of stories, but like
you can skip the names. I'll put it that way.
Totally. Yeah. So we never really had a taste of success.
Yeah.
But we were at a few times put on a road that could have maybe possibly led to success, but you never know. But every time we were accidentally put on that road, it got really gross to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not everybody's experience, but the couple times that we were kind of set up to maybe go to a larger audience, it seemed really contrived, and it just felt gross is the word that keeps coming up to me, I guess.
And it really didn't seem to work either.
No, nobody likes it. No, it's like we just keep throwing pieces of shit up, and everyone's like, no, fuck that. I don't want to hear that. So it's... Art's really weird, because I think everybody, believes that they know what's right for the song or the artist. And, you know, I guess at the end of the day, I mean, everybody can have their opinion, but if a song has changed and I don't like it, to me, that's the end of something special we created, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like we've gotten the most out of what, like, the music we write just from, you know, following what we think is the right thing to do. You know, I feel like we've tried other things and to have it not really work out, you know, where we, you know, I think we have a good sense of, you know, where to kind of push, I guess, and where not to, you know? But of course, you know, we've, you know, screwed up on things as well. So it's a lot of it just, you know, just kind of trial and error too, you know, but.
And it's just such a joy to do it, you know, so we try not to ask too much from it, because I think that initial joy of creating a song or playing a show, it really does satisfy us. You know, the second there's a feeling of a climb starting, we get really turned off pretty quick.
We're pretty lazy. We're no climbing.
Yeah, we're in the lawn chair at the base of the mountain and we're okay. But you know, and it's kind of one of those things too, where it's like, you know, we've been putting out music for a long time, and you know, some people like it, a lot of people don't care for it, some people hate it, right? So it's like, what else is there really to do? We're just having fun. Fuck it. It's so fun.
Yeah, sometimes you look at what people do embrace too, and you're just like, all right, I am totally not that.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's interesting. Art is so interesting because I think we also take it very personally. Like if somebody doesn't like something, and you know, I think that's kind of part of the notion of us turning the noise off just a little bit, where we can just actually focus on having the best time possible rather than having the greatest results possible. And I think our hearts are happier for that.
Yeah. I've always, like, a lot of the musicians that I love, like Neil Young being a big one, you know, I always loved that he was always just saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of people might hate this, but it's just what I'm going to do. And I always really respected that. Even, you know, as to the point where, this is one of my favorite stories, he was putting out records and his record company sued him because they thought he was just putting out really, really crappy albums, and
on purpose.
On purpose, yeah. And so the next album the next album he put out had the song "Rockin' in a Free World" in it, which is one of his, you know, biggest songs. And the album was called Freedom, as in like probably freedom from his record label, because they dropped him and sued him. And so I always just love that, you know, it's just you know, it's just for the music, you know, nothing else. And
there's also such a difference in the modern world, I think. I was talking a little bit with Cameron from King Youngblood about this too, but the difference between like art versus content, which, you know, it's like, okay, you know, we pour our hearts and our souls into like this record that we spend all this time on. But because the tech world doesn't really understand the difference between art and content, it's like you post it in a Facebook thing and it's like, well, that's a post, that's content, you know, but it's like you could achieve that same result with a dumb meme, you know, that would have taken you like 3 seconds. You could have stolen from somebody else, you know?
Right. No, totally.
Yeah.
Somebody uploads a video of a cat eating a sandwich and it goes, you know,
genius,
right?
Genius.
So that's it. Like, what value is so skewed, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, so it's like almost surviving as a band or an artist, like in the modern age, in that way is kind of like drawing that line between like, okay, like my art's over here, that's going to come out when it comes out, and it will be presented, you know, however we want to present that. Now, in the meantime, for all of you that are at home and lonely and on social media doom scrolling, here's some content for you, courtesy of, you know.
I know. I always have this feeling of dread before I post anything anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Do you ever have that where you have to like advertise a show and before you press post, you're like, I shouldn't do this? And then
no, I always have that feeling, because the problem is like you're going to post it and the algorithms are going to knock it down anyway because it's an ad and nobody wants to see that crap in their feed because it's not entertaining, you know? And it's like, so the results are exactly the same as when I just like text 60 people or whoever and I was just like, hey man, you know, you coming out to the show tonight? And it's like, all right, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've always felt sick to my stomach before I press that post. Always.
Yeah.
So anytime you see a post from us, just know that the second before it went up, I was in turmoil.
You know, I mean, so that's pretty much it. But unfortunately, it's like in order to satisfy the social media companies, they have to keep pushing this narrative on musicians. It's like, you're not producing enough content. You need to produce more content. We really need more content from you. Yeah, if you could just give us some content, that'd be great.
Settle down, Zuckerberg. Do you really give a shit about Asterhouse? If nobody else in the world does, you certainly fucking don't.
Oh man, but this is like this is a path I feel like a lot of musicians do struggle with putting themselves out in the modern age, because it's like we do live in this kind of culture that's like very like all or nothing. Like you either have to dedicate your life to this pursuit and make a mega success out of it and have lots of content, or or it's like you just shouldn't do it, because or else what's the point? And this is something that's like only people that are in bands and that play music can appreciate. It's like, we're not necessarily all the richer for doing what we do, but it's like we're rich in life for it,
Oh, totally.
And it's
I mean, oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, that was my profound thought.
Sorry. I mean, I've heard of bands going on these massive tours and coming back owing money.
Yeah,
what I mean?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people forget that. Like, making $1 million doesn't mean anything if you spent $2 million to make it.
Right, totally. I always think of the artists who are successful now usually have like a line of perfume coming out with their record. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you supposed to do anymore?
What are you wearing? Oh, scent of Bob Dylan.
No, Bob Dylan has the whiskey company. Remember, or he did that a couple years ago.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
I forgot about that.
Spotify ain't paying them bills, bro.
But yeah, I mean, I have no idea. That's why I think that what we do is we take a song at a time and really pour everything we can into that song, and then take a show at a time and pour what we can into the show, and then the rest is just noise and fodder,
And you do what you do, and it's beautiful, and you have fun at it, and if you get nothing else out of it, you got that.
Totally. Yeah, it's all about that good feeling inside,
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
On that note, I mean, I want to thank you all again for taking this time to chat this evening. And we'll come back here in just a minute. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up this first segment here?
Just no.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute here. All right.
Bye.
Dead to me, death to the abusers to blame their fathers. Dead to me, and death to the boombox stars. Dead to me, and death to the feasting zillions. Dead to me, and death to the name dropping vampires. Don't go when I'm asleep.
That's the first of our 2 featured tracks from Asterhouse, and that song is called Massive Soul Overhaul. You could check out that song on Spotify, and if you want to support Asterhouse, definitely purchase that song on Bandcamp. We're going to be back here with Asterhouse in just a minute. I'm having the time of my life talking to these dudes. Before that, we're going to check out one more song from the Soul vs. Skin release, and this album just came out this year. This song is called October. It's a Raised on Rhythm podcast.
It's always October where I'm from. Forever. And every rocket ship my son dreamed of just breaks along the way to the moon. And as a scotch tape vessel crashes downward, my sunglassy eyes ask me, why, Daddy, tell me why my ship was built to fly, but I had to watch it die. Details about the story make it not worth giving. I could lie about that too to all of you. I became a dead man when I learned to see very quietly to the book of love and the angels. I can't prove it, but I know they abandoned my son. They abandoned my son. I got the shrunken head and the virgin blood. Look up the cure in the book of witchcraft, and I got nothing. A jealous angel saw my son ship pass by, and she shot it down with the weapon of mass destruction. Why? I pray you tell me why my son is innocent. Details about the story left my sweet son crying. I could lie about that too to all of you. I became a dead man when I learned to see. They said God is confined, God is confined, God is confined. They said God is confined, maybe God is random, God is confined to the book of and here we are again. Ready for the encore? Anyone?
Yeah. We're back, man. I don't want to beat this horse too much. I mean, but like to me, it's like all kinds of Satan. To me, that's art. The basketball day video that y'all made with all kinds of Satan, the one that was like, that's content.
Oh yeah,
that's quality content.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
As you could tell, we're very athletic.
And we're budding YouTube stars.
Yeah. The Sonics hit us up and they said, we would like you to be examples for how not to play basketball.
I thought you were going to joke and say like you were the whole reason they decided to bring the team back to Seattle.
Legally, per my contract, I can't tell you that. But you can guess.
Oh,
yeah.
you have an NDA or whatever. Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that. Ooh. Love to talk more about it, but, we're still in talks, talking about stuff, The only thing, I kind of have to laugh of it, but when it's like, somebody, I know this is like going down a weird legal hole, man, but when it's like, there'll be an NDA in the contract, but we're only talking about like $100 or something like that. And it's like, do we,
right?
Is this really necessary? Like,
I know, right? I'll burn the $100 right in front of you if you don't shut up.
Are we really giving away any trade secrets here, or something?
Yeah. I know, it's oh my god.
Oh man. Is it I have to ask, is it true that Russ can do a perfect cartwheel, in fact?
Legally I can't say.
Yeah, there's $100 at stake.
Ooh,
you keep your fucking mouth shut over there.
No. But you know what? It is 100%. Yeah, it is 100% sort of true that yes, I can do almost a perfect cartwheel. But there's a catch to it, though. I will only do it in the lobbies of really nice hotels.
Okay.
That I'm currently not staying at. Actually, there was a hotel
that's in
Redmond.
In paragraph 7, right?
Oh yes,
okay.
yes. Paragraph 7, subparagraph 12. Yes, but yeah, I used to do this thing. We used to go into this hotel. What was it in Redmond? The
Marriott.
Marriott, and we just walk in there. Actually, this is even
Marriott
before we were playing.
Marriott
with
is who I get the junk phone calls from.
Oh, are you serious? Can you do a cartwheel?
Thank you for choosing Marriott Rewards.
But yeah, I would literally just go there to do cartwheels. And so whenever everybody will ask me to do a cartwheel, I say, hey, get me to Marriott. That's what's going to have to happen. But it's the really only place. Yeah. It's true, though. It's very, very true.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I have told people you can do a cartwheel.
It's a legend.
Content.
Yep. You posted it on Facebook. Yes, that's where I got it from.
Yeah. People love cartwheel content. They just eat it up. They love it.
I'll do a cartwheel on TikTok.
By the way, here's a new record that we spent like the last 8 months on, too.
Yeah, but you don't care about that. You want to see him cartwheel out of open window, right?
Fuckers.
I know. Oh my god. Could you do a perfect cartwheel?
No, hell no. In fact, the first time I was like, this was in my first, God, what was it? My parents signed me up for like a karate class when I was like 5. And there were other kids in the class that could do that was like the bragging rights. That's all you had when you were 5 years old is like, I can do a perfect cartwheel. All right, cool. I can. Shit. I'm gonna die poor and lonely.
All because of that goddamn cartwheel.
Pretty much, man.
Bill Gates does a hell of a cartwheel.
Oh man, yeah. This cartwheel is 13 billion times better than your cartwheel.
I'm donating these cartwheels to charity.
He's not all bad,
Oh man, I have the best mental image right now. I'm so sorry.
Me too. Bill Gates just doing cartwheels for a cause.
Shout out to Bill Gates if you're listening. Give the people what they want, man. It might make the conspiracy theories go away. I'm just saying.
He's always down at Gymboree practicing.
He can't be evil. That's a perfect cartwheel.
Holy shit.
These podcasts are so therapeutic, man.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I feel really good. I feel really good, especially after like working and like,
Yeah.
oh man, I needed this, like a guttural laugh. you
Yeah.
know?
See, there's not a lot of chances that you get to talk about colostomy bags for your tears and Bill Gates. So this is great.
in the same hour.
Yeah.
That's my goal with this stuff. You know, we got just make it a roller coaster, man. Just, you know, we hit all kinds of stuff, man, and go for it.
I always have to ask when what have other people talked about in the encore section? Because I'm always like, should we be more serious or should we just talk about Bill Gates cartwheeling on I-5?
Listen, this is the encore segment.
Oh,
It's like-
that's right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is, you know, we covered all the who, what, where, when in the first,
Right.
20, 30 minutes. Now this is like,
now we're at the why.
all you plebes that just came to hear the radio hits. All right, get the fuck out. Now this is the time where it's like, this is the real Asterhouse people.
Yeah, this
right
is the
here.
Revolution 9 part of the
Yes,
segment.
exactly.
This ain't Let It Be. This is Revolution 9. So fuck
man.
you.
I do want to I do want to ask about this. Speaking while we're on the topic of cheap content, every time a local news station tries to cover like a local band, and listen, like, because I saw like you all were on Q13 and I think like that, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
There's
like,
a story behind that.
oh really? I want to hear this.
No, sorry, keep going. I'll tell you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, it's like, listen, like I'm always grateful, you know, for any band, you know, to get the exposure and get out there to an audience and stuff. But it's such a struggle for me having to watch like a professional news anchor in like a suit and tie, you know, like fitted everything, you know, just try to be rock and roll for like 5 seconds of their day, you know. And it's just like, as soon as we're done with this, we're going to go back to talk about like gardening or, you know, whatever the fuck.
Was it gardening with Cisco? Is that it?
Listen, I can't talk too much shit because it's like if I tried to do like the local newscast, you know, or something like that, it's like, hey, everybody, the world's ending, so fuck it. Peace.
Yeah, if I was a newscaster, I'd have to do it in a diaper because as soon as the red lights roll in, my pants would be filled.
Oh God, I filled my pants when they were filming me. So what happened was so we did a benefit show actually with King Youngblood. They were at Gypsy Temple at the time, and so we did this show, but I had no idea that anyone was going to come cover it. Like we just put on the show, and then all of a sudden, this camera walks in. And so what had happened was, so I was kind of putting everything together, and as you can probably guess, I am not very good at organizing anything. And so like all these things were going wrong, like people were late and I had to set up like 50,000 different things. And so I was really stressed, and like people were stressed out at me going like, well, where's this? Where's that? And you know, so what had happened was, so then the news camera comes in and I'm flustered, and he pretty much says, stand there, and turns the camera on. And so the shot of me on the news is me like trying not to have a panic attack. And then what was so what was so funny about that too was I mean, God, the guy was so nice. I mean, bless his heart. I was like stammering and stuttering, and then when we were done with it, I said, hopefully you have enough to use. Or I said, like, hopefully you have a way of editing that together. And he said, yeah, I'm going to try the best I can. But he was so nice. I love that guy. But I was like, he caught me with my pants down.
In a knee-jerk reaction, you talked to him like he was in the control room of a recording studio. You got what you need? Can you work with that? All right. Fuck it. I'm going to go get a beer, man.
Put some auto-tune on that.
You know what's really cool though, because we had Adam Gurkey from Q13 kind of host that, and he's really, really cool, and he did the radio stuff, right? I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
God, because that feels like ages ago now.
Yeah, I think he used to be a DJ. I mean, maybe it was KSW or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but no, it was really cool because he hosted the event, and but it was really, but yeah, having the shoe on the other foot doing new stuff, I would lose so much weight because I'd just be vomiting before I get in front of the camera, really. Maybe I should do that. I need to lose a couple of pounds.
We'll just make sure King 5 and Cairo 7, just come on in, gain a couple pounds this week. But I was so nervous that I said the word glommed.
Okay.
Like, and the phrase was you're like, I remember. I said everybody glommed on to the idea. What? Why would anyone say that ever, let alone on the news? So, like, people were pointing out, why did you say glommed on? Like, who says that? You're on the news saying like a freaking idiot. So.
One thing I did want to ask you about, I mean, I know you got into making merch for Animal Crossing at one point. I mean, did any of you all actually play Animal Crossing during the quarantine?
I didn't even know that. That was Julio.
Yeah,
probably.
that's got to be Julio, because I think he's really into that
because
stuff.
he's not here tonight. So, all right, well, shoot.
Here he is.
Yeah, he did make something with Animal Crossing, but
Yeah, I really know nothing about Animal Crossing, but I remember hearing so much about it when everybody started doing it. So, yeah.
It was definitely, I mean, it was massive in like March, April, like, you know, quarantine part 1. But I guess this problem, I actually wasn't even going to talk about this, but this illustrates to me the problem with bands and social media, where it's like, because me just doing like my quickie research or something like that, I see that topic, you know, or I saw that post and it was like, oh, you know, Animal Crossing or something like that. I have no clue who in the band actually posted that, or if that person is supposed to speak for the whole band, which obviously in this case probably not. You know?
I know. I'll bet my dad has done updates. I don't even know. Who needs a Floby cut? You know?
This is like the great problem with like bands and social media, that it's like part of what I'm trying to remedy with this is like, you know, because it's sort of it favors, you know, solo artists and people who can just make decisions like that kind of on the fly, whereas like so many bands try to do like social media by committee, and it's just like, oh god, you know,
Oh
it's like,
Christ, I know.
yeah. And it's like, do we really?
Sorry, hot ear.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Be sure to put this in.
I will. I'm not gonna.
Sorry, I got a hot ear.
I'm not gonna take that
Anyway,
out.
sorry, I'm back.
No, yeah, it's cool, man. But like the idea that, you know, oh my god, it's like, do we really have to have a whole group text for the entire day just to decide like what Facebook status, you know, we're gonna post? It's like somebody, we either delegate this or just like there's got to be a better way to do this, man.
Oh, is that how you guys kind of handle that?
No, like we've gone about it in different ways, and we've definitely like delegated. I mean, I think that's kind of why I'm curious to talk about it, because I think like every band sort of has like their own way that they go about that, or some bands are more like one singer songwriter kind of who like maybe handles kind of that anyway.
Yeah,
like everybody just has.
We're
a
hoping to get
approach.
Microsoft Sam to kind of just run our page here. So every time you turn it on, it just Microsoft Sam, go listen to Asterhouse.
That would actually be amazing. That would be incredible.
I would actually use social media if it was run by Microsoft Sam. I miss that thing so much. Oh my god.
If you could just program your brain algorithms of the whole band collectively into your social media, and I mean, it would put a lot of social media managers out of work. So I don't know, maybe, maybe I don't know.
There would be some disgusting, weird. I mean, if we all programmed our brains into one huge gelatinous thing, I think there'd be lawsuits, there'd be jail.
That's what I'm saying. All you people at Spotify and Facebook, like, you should be thanking God we're putting out records and not like our actual thoughts on social media.
I
Oh god.
Oh my god. No one gets to come inside here. Nobody. Not even me sometimes. No one.
Oh man, it's the reason.
Bad.
It's the reason why we and it's the reason why we do this stuff, man. I bringing people like kind of into that world too. Like I'm curious about that too, because you had like this the video for Sweet Fragile World that was directed like Tenchi. I'm curious, like when you find collaborators like to work on stuff like that, whether it's albums or like videos and stuff, you almost have to kind of make them like a fourth member in this case, like of the band. I mean, what's that thought process like for y'all?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been really lucky with, especially making videos and stuff, where we kind of will spew out an idea and people just say, okay, we'll see what we can do to make it work, you know? So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, working with Tenchi was really cool because we'd have something like, hey, we want to fill this room with a bunch of twigs and branches and stuff. He said, okay, you know, where, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, we've been just really lucky in that sort of aspect.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's definitely, we always kind of have weird ideas for videos and stuff, you know, it's kind of trying to get that stuff kind of out on paper, or even to get that to work. It could be really tricky sometimes, though. Yeah.
I think we've been lucky to work with some people who I would classify as kind of adventurous.
Yeah.
Where like we worked with Julian Anderson, who did our last record. And so we kind of just came in there, and he really, I guess, works from inspiration to where we would mess something up and he'd be like, no, wait a minute, let's see if we can dive into that. Yeah. And so he'd add this really cool thing. And, you know, what were we doing? We were like clogging on the ground. We were wearing heavy shoes and like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, if you listen really closely, there's a clogging track.
It's like way in the back with some reverb or something like that. You know, like they have the EQ scooped out or something. You know, it's like layer 4.
Yeah, if you listen really close, you can hear a 12-minute tap dance after the record's over.
Yeah.
It's way in the background, but you hear.
Everyone thinks it's a guitar solo, but it's actually 1,000 kids in clogs. But we made it sound like a guitar. But he just, I mean, it's almost like we'd kind of go in there, and he was adventurous in the way of there wasn't really much of a game plan. Like there was a rough outline, and then everything was just kind of thrown against the wall, and we could kind of see what stuck and what, you know, fell off in a heap, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always comes out to me again, like with that stuff and with your records. I mean, Asterhouse to me has like a sort of sixth sense for how to just take, you know, even simple mediums and simple ideas and just pour a lot of like emotion and feeling into it. You know, that's at least how it comes across to me.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's always like a curious process to me too, for bands, because it's like people, it is, you know, you can definitely hire people to do that stuff and just kind of, you know, blank, you know, pull them in and just treat it like it's a regular job, but it's really not. I mean, they really like to get a vision, you know, between everybody. I think we sort of talked about that a little bit earlier, where you talked about, you know, trying to do stuff to, you know, maybe get yourself to a broader audience and having it, you know, kind of come out kind of meh, you know, because it's like there's like the business side idea of what, you know, of like this will work, and the only reason they think that'll work is because that's what worked for, like, you know, the 3 artists they signed before you or something like that. And it's like they want a quick formula to things, where it's like as bands and as, you know, as musicians, sometimes like we're just throwing this shit against a wall, you know, to start.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? It's such a weird relationship because, like, you know, I think artists at their core have one way about going about art, and then but they have to somehow marry with this idea of a business, and it's a weird disconnected relationship that's always kind of made me and Russ, I think, uncomfortable. It just seems so counterintuitive.
To at least some degree. I think that, you know, if art were automatable in that way, you know, to where it could be that predictable, I mean, why would you need human beings to even do it at that point? And I mean, that's like going into the future, that is something I am kind of concerned with in that way. So it's like, you know, it's like if we really wanted to like optimize for market variables here, look, I'm talking so investor like right now, you know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, why do we even bother with human beings? But, you know, again, there's all these other beautiful reasons that we do and that we do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
Man.
Right.
You know?
It's a really interesting relationship in that way.
Yeah. It's just nuts, you know?
Yeah. And then when, you know, somebody, no, that thought went away quick. Wow.
You can always pontificate. You know, hey, listen, when this whole thing is over, we'll be back in like, you know, 6 months. I'll come back, you know, we'll talk again. Or, you know, maybe we could even do it in real life, you know? Oh, like we could actually have conversations with people again. Like, that would be amazing.
Got my fingers crossed on that one there. Damn.
We could just show up and talk, and there's not going to be like 15 minutes of technical fuckery.
Oh my God.
Before we can just...
I think that should have been its own podcast. Like, you're like, okay, turn the computer on.
Yeah.
On. On button. Turn the computer on.
Okay, now take that cord, put it in there. Okay, now unplug that and put it over there. Take these lights and put it over there.
I could totally put that out and just call it high art, you know? It's like, you wouldn't get it. Sorry, this isn't content as you would think of it. This sound of the computers being put together is this is high art that must be appreciated.
Yeah, this is a very avant-garde podcast.
Is this mic on? Is it on? What if I were to lick my lips? Genius.
You were already spitting into the cup earlier, though.
That's right. Wow. What a great podcast this will be.
Shout out to the International Noise Conference. Rest in peace.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Man, I don't know if you can tell, I'm just sweating here. I turned the heat up to like 98 degrees in here.
Well,
Ugh.
I'll tell you what. We don't have to go too much longer, but I do want to pontificate on one more thing here with y'all real quick before we wrap this up. Why is it that when you're in the middle of nowhere in any town like America, I don't care where you're traveling to, you can always count on Arby's?
It's like an equivalent to an outhouse. You need to do it. Like, if you're in a fucking pinch.
Maybe that's why I don't eat at Arby's that much, because I have such a anxiety to poop in a different, like, I'm a home bowl person, really. I need my home bowl. And if I take a crap in somebody else's toilet, there's a good chance that it'll be just blood everywhere, just from the sheer fear of everybody listening in.
They may have merged with Honey Bucket, so where it's like, where's the nearest bathroom? And it's like, if there's a bathroom, you can use the bathroom, but oh my God, I'm also in an Arby's, so I might as well get some shitty food.
So it's like, I'm just thinking, like, you know, they have like the combination Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, so you have like the combination.
Yeah, or like the A&W with the KFC.
Yeah, in America,
Yeah. Whenever I'm in there, I'm like, dude, I need to confess to something right now.
Yeah, they always have the confessionals over there, you know, bless me, Father, for I've sinned. What have you done? I came here.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Sir, I just want a personal pan pizza, man. Damn it.
Say 10 Hail Marys and you'll get yours.
I work 2 jobs, man. Right next to each other.
I got a family.
Yeah, I wonder when they're going to start combining churches with McDonald's. I can't wait.
Ooh,
That's going to be
a
awesome.
fusion. We just did a bang bang for like the night before Thanksgiving a few nights ago, and we were all here, and we did this was like, of course, the night before Thanksgiving, so we pregame. What was it? Domino's and Ballard Mandarin, like Chinese food. Shout out to Ballard Mandarin, local business. Support them. Yeah.
Man, dude, have you pooped since then yet? Oh my God, we got that, and then Thanksgiving.
Man,
Whoa.
it was a weekend. Last weekend, I'm writing last weekend off. Man, it was what it was.
Didn't happen.
It's Thanksgiving. It's America. You know, I've
right. Whatever.
I'm back.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, I'm back to my normal diet. I was gonna say, did y'all do anything for Thanksgiving? Like,
I looked at him for a while.
Yeah, I caught sight of myself in the mirror and I got really upset. So that's about it.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, God, do we have to be filmed for this podcast? It's like the day after Thanksgiving. It's like,
you know, black is a very slimming color, I'll say.
Right,
you
yeah.
know, and I gotta take this. I have my lighting accordingly, but you know, I got my gut down.
Yeah, that's why I didn't shave for this. I had to hide all my chins, really. I was like, no, comb over.
Yeah, we should have had the laptop at the Instagram angle. Hi.
And people wonder why, like, you know, because when I was first doing this podcast a few months ago, they're like, oh, you're going to do video for it? Are you going to do video for it? And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Not particularly. That's like,
oh my God.
You know,
we are so the opposite. We're like, is this just going to be audio?
I tried to get away from it for the longest time, and then it's just like, I don't know. I mean, you know, some of the videos were fun, but before that, I was just like, I was taking a picture, you know, of like each of us in the room, and just like I would do a a video project where I'd take the audio and I would just switch the picture depending on who was speaking at any given moment, which still took me like hours to assemble and was just so like,
oh my God.
You know, I mean, I was doing the best I could, man. You know, I am only one man.
I've got no place else to go.
Pretty much, man. I've got no shows to play, man. My gigs have been canceled for like a year now. Like,
Give me something.
I'll even move the photos, please.
pretty much, yeah. Give me anything to work on right now, bro. Like, I'm just trying to stay fresh, man.
Move the photos.
I'm just trying to stay fresh. So when these shows do come back, man, we could just, you know, we can all just hit the ground running, man.
Totally.
You know, staying, you know, yeah, keep riding,
You know what's going to be funny is when the shows begin again, there will be a month where like, oh, this is great. But after that month, we're going to start going, oh, this is, you know, it's just, nobody's here in the shows. And it's,
Oh, yeah.
No.
got to get here so early.
No, I was talking about this with Alan from the Heavy Sun. He's just like, no, you're going to be grateful that those 6 people showed up. And I'm like, you are goddamn right.
No, totally,
Yeah.
totally, yeah. I mean, I'll play. There was actually there was one time we played at a house party, and
yeah.
everybody hated us, so everyone left. We played to a fish tank.
And the fish died.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no. Damn.
That was probably one of the greatest shows we ever played. Those
Yeah.
fish. I remember we were playing, but we still played the whole set. Why? I don't know. It's some sick joke on the fish. Actually, we shouldn't have done that.
What's that?
We shouldn't have played the whole show. Those fish don't tap the glass. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Oh, well.
Just remove that memory. Oh. The past is dead. We can't do anything about it. Well, anyway, it's been fun.
There's no sense in looking backward, man, because we got so much to look forward to right now. All right,
Oh, yeah.
all right, everybody. Asterhouse, thank you again. Rock on, man.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
dude, it's
This
been a
was
lot
awesome.
of fun. Now, if you just could cut out all my parts, then we'd be good.
Oh, that was awesome, man. We're clear.
You didn't tell him about my pubes, did you?
I wouldn't have done that.
I'm really happy that you knew the Wayne's World 2 reference. You know, sometimes I say that and people are like, what the hell is he talking about?